Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to go over that quiz. And so what we'll do now is we'll review the answers to make sure that you understand that correctly. So our first question asked to rank the brands according to preference. This, of course, is an ordinal scale. Now, it's an ordinal scale because people are telling us which is their first, second, and third most preferred options, but they're not telling us to the degree to which they're more preferred. So somebody might say Heineken is their most preferred, more than Carlsberg, and then more than Corona. However, the distance between that might be non-uniform. So Heineken might be the most preferred by far, and then Carlsberg trails behind with Corona ever so slightly behind it. Now, here's a question for you that wasn't in the quiz. Can I make the following statement? Carlsberg is the most preferred brand. The mean preference was 1.52. Think about that for a second. The answer is no, you cannot say that. And that is because there's no such thing as a rank of 1.52. Ranks are first, second, or third. Instead, what we could say is something like this. Carlsberg is the most preferred brand. It is ranked as the number one preferred brand by 60% of respondents. That is a valid statement. I can count frequencies of responses. I just can't compute means for ordinal scales. Scale number 2. What is your total household income? Well, this, of course, is a ratio scale. Whenever we're dealing with dollars, we're talking about a scale that has a meaningful zero, and so this is a ratio. Can I make this statement? There are twice as many households with an average income of less than $9,999 than households with an average income of $40,000 and over. And the answer is yes. Yes, I can, because I can compute averages, that's fine, and I can make statements like there's twice as many households. There's no problem there. There's no inconsistency with how I interpret this particular question, given that it is a ratio scale. How about this question? How satisfied are you with the service of Toyota dealers in your area? Very dissatisfied, and so on. Well, this, of course, is a very classic example of an interval scale. And so now the question is, can I make this following statement? The average satisfaction score of the Pittsburgh dealer is 4.5, while the average of the dealer in Monroeville is 2.3. Which indicates customers in Pittsburgh are almost twice as satisfied as customers in Monroeville. Take a moment to think about if that entire statement is valid. And the answer is part of that statement is valid. I can certainly compute averages for Pittsburgh and Monroeville, but I cannot say that Pittsburgh is nearly twice as satisfied as Monroeville for the reasons that we discussed in the previous video. For an interval scale with no meaningful zero, I cannot make claims like double or half or triple. And that's pretty obvious. If I change that scale to something like -2 to 2, you can see that all I do to those averages is subtract 3 from them. And that'll give me the same position on the scale, but the interpretation is completely different. Instead, I could say something like this. Pittsburgh customers are more satisfied than Monroeville customers. The average satisfaction score for the Pittsburgh dealer is 4.5, while the average score for the Monroeville dealer is 2.3. In other words, I can make claims about the averages. I can even make claims about which one is more or which one is less. And statistically speaking, we'll talk about how to analyze those data. But what I can't do is say that it is double. I can simply state that one is more or one is less, and I can compute averages for sure, but that doubling piece, that's problematic for an interval scale. Last but not least, which of the following courses have you taken? Marketing research, data-driven marketing, marketing strategy, and so on, so you kind of check the boxes. And this, of course, is a nominal scale. And so now, can I make the following statement? Marketing research is the most frequently taken elective course because the median number of responses for it is 3.2. Hopefully right away you see that makes no sense. I don't even know how one would compute that particular value. But we cannot compute things like medians and means when we're dealing with nominal scales. Instead, I could say something like this. 70% of respondents indicate that they have taken marketing research. That's valid. I can state that. I can even go on to say that only 40% of respondents indicated they took internet marketing and compare those particular proportions. But I simply cannot state things like means or medians or standard deviations because there's nothing to compute here. Instead, we can only look at frequencies and counts. Now that we've got a feel for the different types of questions that could be asked, in the next videos, we'll actually talk about how to write good questions as well as how to structure questions in an appropriate manner across an entire survey.